Jam, with its vibrant colors and sweet, fruity flavors, is a beloved staple in many households around the world. Spread across a warm slice of toast, dolloped onto yogurt, or layered into pastries, jam often brings a nostalgic comfort to breakfast tables and afternoon snacks alike. Yet beneath its cheerful appearance lies a complex relationship with our blood sugar, a relationship that recent research has brought into sharper focus than ever before. To understand the impact of jam on blood sugar, one must first consider its composition. Traditional jam is primarily made from fruit and sugar, often in substantial quantities. A typical 100-gram serving of jam contains between 240 and 280 calories, with carbohydrates making up 60 to 70 grams of that total. Of these carbohydrates, a staggering 55 to 65 grams come directly from sugars. These numbers matter because they directly influence how our bodies respond, particularly in terms of blood glucose. The glycemic index, or GI, is a tool that measures how quickly foods cause blood sugar to rise after eating. Foods with a high GI are broken down rapidly, leading to swift increases in blood glucose levels. Jam typically falls within the medium to high GI range, scoring between 51 and 65. While this might seem like just another number, the practical implication is that eating jam can lead to a relatively rapid and significant spike in blood sugar, especially when consumed in larger quantities or without balancing foods. But what does this mean for your health? For healthy adults, a moderate rise in blood sugar after a meal is normal and generally well managed by the body's insulin response. However, for those living with diabetes or insulin resistance, the story changes drastically. In these individuals, the body's ability to process and regulate blood sugar is impaired. Consuming high GI foods like jam can create sharp peaks in blood glucose, placing additional stress on the body and making it more challenging to keep blood sugar within healthy ranges. A recent clinical study involving 30 healthy adults explored the specific impact of jam on blood glucose levels. Researchers observed that not all jams are created equal. The glycemic response varied depending on the type and amount of sugar used in the jam's preparation. Jams formulated with higher proportions of glucose led to a more pronounced glycemic spike than those with lower glucose content. This finding is crucial, as it highlights that the blood sugar response to jam is influenced not just by the quantity, but also by the composition of the sugars within. For people managing diabetes, these findings underscore the importance of making informed choices. It's not simply a matter of avoiding jam entirely, but rather understanding how different varieties and serving sizes can affect their unique health needs. Many individuals with diabetes have found success by opting for low sugar or sugar-free jams, which are becoming increasingly available on store shelves. These alternatives often utilize natural sweeteners such as stevia or erythritol, both of which have far less impact on blood glucose levels compared to traditional sugar. The shift towards sugar-free and reduced sugar options is not just a matter of convenience, but a response to real metabolic concerns. Unlike sucrose or glucose, sweeteners like erythritol are not fully metabolized by the body, resulting in minimal to no effect on blood sugar. Stevia, derived from the leaves of the Stevia rebaudiana plant, provides sweetness without calories or carbohydrate load, making it an attractive choice for those seeking to manage their glucose levels. But the story does not end with the choice of jam. How jam is eaten also plays a critical role in determining its impact on blood sugar. Recent research has shown that pairing jam with high-fiber foods, such as whole grain bread, can slow down the absorption of sugars into the bloodstream. Fiber acts as a physical barrier, slowing the digestive process and helping to temper the blood sugar spike that might otherwise occur when consuming jam alone or with low-fiber foods like white bread or crackers. This approach aligns with the broader understanding of glycemic load, which considers both the quantity and quality of carbohydrates consumed. By choosing whole grains or adding fiber-rich foods to a meal that includes jam, it's possible to enjoy the sweet treat while minimizing its disruptive effects on blood glucose. For those without diabetes, this may seem like a small detail, But for people living with the daily realities of blood sugar management, these strategies can make a tangible difference in quality of life. Consistently high blood sugar levels are associated with an increased risk of long-term complications, including cardiovascular disease, neuropathy, and vision problems. Every effort to moderate blood sugar spikes, whether by choosing lower GI foods, moderating portion sizes, or combining foods wisely, plays a role in safeguarding long-term health. Despite these precautions, it's clear that jam remains a concentrated source of sugar and calories. In a world where processed and sugar-laden foods are ubiquitous, it's easy to underestimate the cumulative impact of even small indulgences. A seemingly innocent spoonful of jam can contain as much sugar as an entire piece of fruit. When added atop already carbohydrate-rich foods, such as bread or pastries, the overall glycemic load can quickly escalate. For those who cherish the flavor and tradition of jam, moderation is key. Rather than treating jam as an everyday spread, it may be healthier to reserve it for special occasions or use it as a subtle accent rather than the main feature of a meal. Experimenting with homemade jams made from fresh fruit and minimal added sugar can also provide a way to enjoy the essence of fruit without the heavy glycemic burden of commercial varieties. It's also worth noting that the type of fruit used in jam can have a minor influence on its nutritional profile. For instance, jams made from berries, such as raspberries or blackberries, may contain slightly more fiber and antioxidants compared to those made from higher sugar fruits like peaches or cherries. However, the sugar added during the jamming process typically outweighs these differences, making sugar content the primary concern from a blood glucose perspective. As the food industry continues to innovate, a new generation of jams and fruit spreads has emerged. These products are often sweetened with fruit juice concentrates or alternative sweeteners, aiming to capture the taste and texture of traditional jam while offering a lower glycemic impact. While these options can be beneficial, it's important to read labels carefully and remain mindful of portion sizes. Even so-called no-sugar added jams may still contain significant amounts of naturally occurring sugars from fruit. For individuals who are particularly sensitive to sugar or who are striving for optimal blood sugar control, consulting with a healthcare provider or registered dietitian can provide personalized guidance. Blood sugar responses can vary widely between individuals due to differences in metabolism, gut health, and other factors. Regular monitoring of blood glucose using home testing kits or continuous glucose monitors can help identify which foods and combinations work best for each person. Beyond the direct effects on blood sugar, there are broader health considerations as well. Diets high in added sugars are linked to increased risk of obesity, heart disease, and metabolic syndrome. Reducing the intake of sugary spreads like jam can contribute to overall better health, not just for those with diabetes, but for the general population as well. Yet, it's important to approach this topic without fear or undue alarm. Enjoying jam occasionally, within the context of a balanced diet, is unlikely to cause harm for most people. The key is awareness, understanding how foods like jam fit into one's overall dietary pattern, and making choices that support long-term health goals. In summary, the verdict from the latest research is clear. Eating jam can cause noticeable spikes in blood sugar, particularly for individuals who are sensitive to changes in glucose levels. The degree of this effect depends on the type and amount of sugar in the jam, as well as the foods it is paired with. For those managing diabetes or seeking to maintain stable blood glucose, opting for low sugar or sugar-free alternatives, controlling portion sizes, and combining jam with high-fiber foods are all effective strategies. As we move forward, the conversation around jam and blood sugar reflects broader trends in nutrition science, a shift toward mindful eating, personalized nutrition, and a deeper understanding of how our food choices impact our bodies. Whether you choose to enjoy jam in moderation or seek out healthier alternatives, the power to manage your blood sugar is, quite literally, in your hands. So the next time you reach for that jar of sweet, sticky goodness, remember the science. Enjoy it thoughtfully, savoring both the flavor and the knowledge that you're making an informed choice for your health.